Time now for the State of the Aquarium address with your host Paul, brought to you this week by Menon. Good afternoon, everybody. Paul here, coming at you live once again from New Hyde Park. As you can see, I've got a new tank. Yes, it's another 210-gallon aquarium. And this time, rather than Angelfish, I'm going to be putting Discus in it. Probably going to be ordering some Galaxy Turquoise strain Discus from Angelfish USA, where they have the 210 strains of Discus. And as you can see, I'm pre-scaping this tank. I picked up these absolutely gorgeous pieces of driftwood from Pets Warehouse, my local aquarium store here on Long Island. And as you can see, even though they're two completely different pieces of driftwood, the way that they were cut and gathered, they fit together almost perfectly. And once they're once the tank is fully planted and everything fills in around it, it's going to look so amazing. I can't wait to get this thing planted and set up. But as you can see, there's tons of structure and uniqueness about both of these pieces of driftwood. They are, they almost didn't fit into the tank. You know how the new 210 gallons, the larger tanks are braced at the top? Well, I had a really hard time finagling these two pieces of driftwood in between the braces. I mean, there was a lot of delicate maneuvering and stuff like that in order to just get the pieces into the tank, much less, get them positioned where I want them prior to, putting in the substrate and getting the thing filled and, planting it. But the lighting I'm using for the tank is the same as I'm using for the other 210 I have. It's a Current USA Nova Extreme 12 by 39 watt 6-foot fixture. The plumbing of the tank is going to be courtesy of a single Fluval FX5 canister filter. And as in my other tank, I'm going to have a Gemco controller powering two 500 watt titanium heaters for a total of 1,000 watts of heating ability. And moving from the new tank, we move in to see my quote unquote old 210 gallon aquarium. This tank is now about a year and a half old, and as you can see, it is a jungle. Between the pair of Amazon sword plants that I have, the rose melon swords that are flanking the centerpiece driftwood, and the Anubias that's growing all over the driftwood, and the spare clumps of Java moss, and the Anubias gigantea and hastifolia that's growing out the top of the tank, as well as the other species of Anubias planted around the tank, and the smaller species up front, as well as the cryptocorn Wentii bronze and green and red species in the foreground. There's a lot going on in this tank, especially on the right side where all of the Ponageton, I believe it's Ulvaceous, is starting to take over. I mean, those long, skinny leaves that are coming up out of the substrate and just pushing forward and dominating the tank now. Probably going to have to prune those back. I'll take them and I'll plant them into my my 55-gallon grow tanks and in clay pots with some of the gravel I've had left over from other tanks. But as you can see, the angelfish are doing well. I have lost a few since Hurricane Sandy hit last year and kind of really did a number on everything in the tank. The Berlin tricolored swords that I had up in my 20-gallon community tank, I moved down here, give them a little bit of extra breathing room, especially for the females that are, as you can see, they're getting huge. I'm taking about 2 or 3 juvenile sword plants off of both of the sword plants that are in the tank now every 2 weeks, and they're just flowering and sending off runners like crazy. It's awesome. So I'm going to take this time to wrap up this portion of the video, and give me a couple of minutes and we will, a couple of seconds actually, and we'll fast forward a month to the new video. See you in a bit. And here we are, about a month later. Got my plants ordered from Arizona Aquatic Gardens. I want to thank them for supplying me with all the amazing plants that went into my tank. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of great looking plants in the tank, as well as well, as you can see, the driftwood is nicely bracketed by all the plants. I bought a lot of Vallisneria for the background because I want something to really offset the discus and really make them pop. And as you can see, I've already got a school of neon tetras in it, in the tank, to help kind of condition it and get it acclimated. Got about 60 in there, and I got them from my local fish store, Pets Warehouse, once again. I want to thank everybody there for all of the amazing stuff that they've helped me with over the years. But let's see, what do I have in here? I've got lots of Anubias, which I've decided to plant as a foreground and a low maintenance plant along the bottom of the driftwood, as well as a couple of occasional pieces up on top of the driftwood. I'll probably at some point also maybe wrap some Java moss or something up on the upper parts of the thing, kind of as a hideout for fry and things like that. But right in the middle, I've got some Vesuvius swords, which were actually pretty hard to find. Lots of glossostigma growing down front. Going to use that as a carpet. Planted them in nice clumps to allow it to spread faster. It was originally a 12 inch by 12 inch mat, which I kind of broke up and spread out around the bottom of the tank. As far as substrate for the tank, I'm using EcoComplete once again with fluorite red as a substrate. And once again, it's going to be a really good looking tank. I can't wait till it finally fills in and grows in. But that's going to wrap it up for this update. I can't wait to show you more videos on this tank. If you have any questions, please once again subscribe and post questions on the channel. But have a good night. Thanks again.